Before we go into the game, any update on Noah?
Oh, he's gone for scans on his chest, I think, just a precautionary. We think he's okay, so, yeah.
And concussion-wise?
No, our doctor cleared him. That wasn't an issue. It's I think the ARC sent him off to make sure he had a test sort of thing, but, the doctor cleared him of that, so it's just his chest.
Is there a suspected rib damage?
No, well, I'm not too sure. I can only he's gone there precautionary. We think he's okay, but once again, the scans will confirm that.
What did you make of the bump itself?
Oh, it's not for me to decide, really. Like, at the end of the day, the game's combative. Accidents happen on the footy field, so, it's one of those things. Ideally, we'd love Noah to keep playing, but the fact of the matter is, it is what it is, sort of thing. So, within the rules, still allowed to bump, so...
He was all right with hitting himself?
Yeah, it just was, it was a reasonable hit. It's a solid hit, he's a big boy, Tom Stewart sort of thing. So, but from, once again, make very clear, it was a chest. It wasn't head or anything like that. No concussion. So from our point of view, he's just go there and see what that comes out back at.
Where did you think the game got away tonight?
Oh, contest and tackle. Like, I just thought they were cleaner and tougher in and around the contest sort of thing. I thought we kept them to a manageable score, but in and around contest, we just couldn't get any clean use, at various stages. So, in these sort of conditions, you've got to make the most of your chances. There's a guy by the name of Tyson Stengel that kicks 4 goals. He's the difference in the game. Jeremy Cameron 0, Patrick Dangerfield 0, Tyson Stengel 4. That's the game, sort of thing. We just couldn't get our chances at various stages. Had a couple of looks, but just couldn't get any scoreboard pressure. And I thought they controlled the game. Once you're behind in a wet, slippery conditions like this, you can sort of put a number back. We're equalising as best we can, but it's really, really hard. So, once you get behind by a certain amount, you've got to try and win the game, which is what we tried to do late, and probably ended up going down by a little bit more than we should have. But look, they were too good, too clean, too strong.
Felt like a lot of that battle was that stage along how you tried to even it up and your numbers are sort of, you just couldn't find any winners up forward. Was that? Yeah,
that's it. Like I said, Tyson Stengel was a difference in the game, really. He had 4. I don't think there was another multiple goal kicker from the game, but we just couldn't. We could nullify contests, but we just couldn't win. Nights like this, you just need to win contests forward of the ball, and we just couldn't get a decent look. And when we did, I thought Geelong's pressure sort of, negated that chance as best they could. So, credit to them. They were too good on their home deck.
Given your record prior to tonight, the result of being 12 goal losses, even though you lose tonight, do you take a little bit out of the fact that you were competitive for most of the game?
No, we lost. I don't know. I only know what I know, being here at a year and a half or whatever it is. And, they're a top 4 side, have been for a long period of time. We're short of them. So we've got some work to do. So, we don't take any note in honourable losses. That's not us anymore. We've got to get better. I've got some work to do. I was really pissed off, to be perfectly honest. We sort of knew the game that we needed to have, and we unfortunately failed the test.
Clearly, Max Simon was a driving force for the Cats tonight. And why couldn't you sort of stop him at 40? Pretty high figure, you just drove the ball forward.
Oh, look, he's really, really smart, just sitting back off the stoppage sort of thing. And, once again, we had Touk that was getting tagged, trying to go to him as well. And, it just you end up chasing your tail sort of thing. So, look, he was very, very good tonight, don't get me wrong, sort of thing. But, sometimes you continually go around, but at some stage you've got to drop it and try and win the game, which is what we tried to do at the end. And he's a very, very good player. He's been a good player for a long period of time and has grown into a role that really, really suits him. So he's had a great year.
Obviously, tagging isn't much of a factor these days, but there were 2 pretty clear tags with Miller and Anderson tonight. Is that hard to factor in and work out when you're working out? Does it take you a while to figure out how you're going to use that to potentially do it?
Oh, it is, but they're being tagged, but they're also playing off them as well. It's not like I don't want to say it's not a heavy tag. They're negating them as best they can, which is fine, sort of thing. But, once again, in these sort of conditions, it's really, really hard. The game is a scrap. There's not a lot of open flow play. So, once again, negating those guys is a little bit easier as compared to in dry conditions where you can sort of get out in a little bit of space and use your speed or use your ball movement. So it was a challenging day, there's no question. Once again, as coaches, we've got some work to do. I've got some work to do, but our players do as well.
Is there much you can do in terms of on your whiteboard when your midfielders get beaten to comebacks. Don't have the sort of goals that they have had this year.
Well, there's three phases. You know, we defended reasonably well, kept it on manageable score, 9 goals, which is doable sort of thing. But I thought contest-wise and offence, we just couldn't get anything going. You know, like I said, we got horribly beaten in the contested nature of the game. I think clearances ended up even, but I thought they were a lot cleaner with their clearances than us. And, you know, against Geelong, you've got to move the ball off the line. So once again, their defensive pressure was very good, but also the conditions were very tough. So we sort of had two things working against us. One, our inability to win or be clean at contests, but the second phase was the conditions made it hard to move the ball off the line at a consistent rate anyway. Thanks.